Hello, Max. How are you, buddy?
Good, boss. How you guys doing?
Very good. Thank you for calling in. Fighting you the main event this Saturday in Detroit. Being from Hawaii, could they have picked a worse location for you to go in December?
Yeah, man. It's I'm over here doing interviews in the damn AC inside the hotel, and I'm freezing to it. So I'm like, everybody's like, "What? This is good weather. This is perfect weather." I'm like, guys, I'm a Hawaiian. You know, it doesn't go underneath 70 degrees. And when it's in 70 degrees, I use a long sleeve. So please cut me some slack.
When you're walking around the house, what do you like to keep your house at?
Oh, like right now, I'm like in the hotel room. We got my temperature set to 76. You know?
Oh man!
Oh my God!
Oh, dude, if I ever had to like stay at your house, not that I ever would. I'm not inviting myself, but I'd be like, oh, dude, can I open a window? I would melt. I'd be like a melting man.
76. One ball is stuck to each leg. If I have my house at 76 degrees.
I run hot.
But look, Hawaii is what. But you're probably an open window guy. You probably don't even like any kind of so you just like open the windows, let a nice breeze come through.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I gotta leave actually at home when it's super hot, I turn on the AC here and there, but then I just get it cool and I turn it off. But leaving the doors, nothing beats the fresh air. And
you're fighting obviously against Jose again. This Saturday, last fight was a win. It was a third round TKO. Now, when he was announced, you tweeted a picture of him and wrote, "It is what it is." Was this frustration, disappointment, or just acceptance and kind of like a Hawaiian calm thing? Because Hawaiian people are known as very, very even-keeled folks. What did you mean by it?
I meant exactly what I said, man. It is what it is. You know, everybody kept telling me, call out this guy, do that guy. Why are you taking this fight? It was like, when my manager called me and told me that Frankie was out, I told him, call me back when you got a contract. I don't want to hear names. I don't want to do this. I'm not a matchmaker. I'm a fighter. I want to fight. And, he was the next guy up.
Sure.
At the end of the day, I got a cupcake guy with me. You know, a guy comes on all my trips with me. He buys us cupcakes all the time, and I look forward to him. You know, I look forward to those cupcakes. It's like cupcakes, guys. You know, I want the new flavor. Of course, I want the new flavor, the one I haven't tried. But if the old flavors, the ones I like, everyone is good. So I'll still eat it. So I'm here. I'm still fighting Detroit. I owe the city of Detroit, my family, my friends, my fans, even the haters. They deserve to fight, and too much cars been falling through lately, and I just wanted to fight, man.
All right, we got a great headline. Max Holloway calls Jose Aldo a cupcake. That's the headline. Refers to him as a cupcake. Look, man, I mean, it is a good matchup. Obviously, the first fight was really good. Jose said he had a leg injury. Because I watched that fight, I'm like, why is he not throwing enough kicks? And you really could not prepare for two more different fighters than Jose Aldo and Frankie Edgar. I mean, and Edgar comes at you a lot differently than Jose does. And Frankie to me is just such a dangerous fighter. So is Aldo for different reasons. But now, assuming he has rehabbed, how are you preparing differently for him than you were for Edgar?
This is what greats do. This is what greatest of all times do. I've been telling everybody in between these fights. I went to two Pedro Sauer seminars, and I would always talk about his old stories of how when they was coming in, they first came to America, and how people would just show up to their garage or whatever and fight them, or they'd show up to gyms and they would fight. You cannot have these times where you claim to be the best fighter in the world, and then you're like, but wait, give me 8 weeks, give me 6 weeks, let me get ready for you. No, the best fighter, if you believe you're the best fighter in the world, you get ready for everything. So that was my mindset, that was my attitude. If it's him, it's him. We're gonna figure out a way. I figured out a way 11 times. 18 times. I got 18 wins. I'm gonna figure out a way to get 19.
Now let me ask you, Matt, two questions. Was he the first? I know you said you didn't want to hear anything until there was a contract. Were other names bounced around? Because there were some people that thought, well, why not Cub Swanson or Ricardo Lamas? Because you had just fought Jose, even though he is the number one contender. Were other names bounced around?
Yeah, you know, all those names bounce around. You know, like I said, you know, Cub was in the running. I heard Ricardo. I heard Cub's opponent that he was fighting. I heard couple 55 names popped up. So you know, it was just it was a bunch of things that I really didn't want to worry about. You know, because
Sure.
at the end of the day, UFC is going to choose who they want to choose me to fight, and I'm going to fight. You know, I'm going to prove I'm the best.
Now, do you think with Aldo saying that he had that injury to his leg? I mean, listen, we all know people fight banged up. That was a great fight.
Yep.
Now, do you think that made much of a difference? I mean, you were in there with him, or you're thinking, all right, man, he's got to tell himself something to try to make himself mentally straight for this rematch.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know where he's at right now with his peace of mind. You know, his interviews and everything. Even this fight, it's unlike him if you think of it. You know, when the hell does he ever take a short notice fight? You know, when does he and does all these things and saying injuries and blah blah blah. There's a lot of things that don't add up with this fight. You know, it's a quick turnaround for him, and he usually fights like once a year. You know, so it's pretty weird. There's a lot of question marks going into it, but if it keeps the guy going, if it's going to make him show up December 2nd, then I'm all for it. You know, if he believes in a fight, I want the best Aldo. I want the best Jose Aldo. After this one, I don't want there to be any excuse. You know, I want him to be 200%. Come with his game plan, and let's get it done.
Yeah, man. I think not one of the reasons, but a big part of him never making excuses is because the guy's never lost, really. You know, I mean, you are fighting a legend. I mean, you know, Conor had that one fight with him that people remember because it was so hyped up and the way it went down with the whole 13-second thing. But besides that, it's not like that guy had to, you know, deal with that before. So it's very interesting. He's in a spot in his career that he's never been in before because he's always been such a dominant champion, you know? And to go through the fight, Max, that he went through with you, where, you know, he was in the fight and, you know, he was in there in the beginning, but then what happened to him where, I mean, that is enough to give, you know, a lesser fighter, I mean, not that he doesn't get nightmares, but that would give somebody nightmares. I mean, it wasn't like, all right, man, well, Max, he can't say to himself, well, Max, you know, he just caught me. He just got that one punch. I mean, you were on him, and that was because he's so tough, that was a bad beating. Yeah. So I'm wondering how his head is. What could he say? All right, if they're going through that with somebody, what's giving him this confidence to get back in there and feel he's going to take that title back?
Yeah, you know, I'm wondering it too. You know, and I look forward to it this Saturday. You know, I can't wait. I'm excited. You know, this, like you said, this guy's a legend. He's one of the best. You know, people are asking me, oh, you know, what happened to this and that and blah blah, saying scenarios. I'm like, look, guys, he defended a bunch of times. You know, his legacy is cemented, and to cement my legacy, I got to add him, and I got to add a bunch more, you know, to be the greatest in this weight division. You know, it's crazy. There's a lot of history on the line, and I can't wait to prove it. You know, I can't wait to. I already knew, my team knew. You know, I know I'm the best in the world. It's time to show the world now.
You know, Max, one reason Matt saying what's giving him the confidence, if he was being truthful about the leg and not making an excuse, and it does seem like he was because he just wasn't throwing kicks. And I couldn't think of any logical reason for that watching it. Maybe he's got his leg and he's like, okay, now I have, you know, 40% more of my weapons that I just didn't have. It doesn't have to be a boxing match against you. It might be that. And, you know, you also mentioned a good point about this guy doesn't normally take short notice fights. To me, who was it that got hurt when Conor, he could have fought Conor in a rematch, and he didn't take it.
It was RDA.
It was, that's right,
Yes,
Rafael dos Anjos. So when he didn't take that fight, and he knows he'll never get that chance again, I think that's one of those things where you let the boat pass you, and you will always regret it, because he did not take that opportunity that could have given him the belt again or a second loss. So now, you're giving him another shot at the belt. This is the second time that the champion who beat him had an injury or something take a person out of the fight, and this time he answered the call. He did not against Conor. So if you're wondering why he's taking, I'm babbling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I hear you. So we see it happen. Like I said, we see it happen. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out Saturday. We find out where his head is and how he feels on Saturday. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, Frankie, I wanted to see Frankie get this shot just because I like Frankie so much. But hopefully his injury is not too bad. Do you know what the injury is specifically?
I don't. I heard something wrong with his face, and something bad that might have surgery or something. So I don't know, man. I hope nothing but a speedy recovery for that guy. I was looking forward to that fight. Like I said, it's just like cupcakes. I was looking forward to a new flavor, but luckily, I don't know, man. It just sucks. That guy got hurt. He's a legend. There's a lot of history on that line. We had a lot of history with Hawaiian fighters and stuff. So it was a great fight. But I look forward to the future. First things first. I got Aldo on my plate. We got to take care of business, and we can start thinking about down later.
Yeah, and then see maybe the winner of Aldo Holloway fights Frankie if he's well enough to do. What do you think? One of my favorite fights. The whole card is really good, Max. The whole main event card. It's a tremendous card. Ngannou Overeem. We had Overeem on earlier in the week, and I'm really, really looking forward to that fight. What do you think of that matchup? Even though, of course, it has nothing to do with what you're doing because you guys are 600 pounds apart. What do you what do you think of that matchup?
I think that matchup is great, man. I was kind of excited when they announced it down for the fight. It's a big matchup. Overeem is Overeem, and Francisco is he's coming up. They got a lot of hype behind the guy, so I think this is we're gonna find out. We find out what the hype is about, and who doesn't like two heavyweights, they're athletic heavyweights too, going in there. Everybody wants to see knockouts and finishes, so I think that fight is definitely going to end up in a finish.
Well, it's funny, like a guy like me who can't fight for shit, the idea of a guy who punches really hard scares me. But you guys are used to that. So, like we point out that Overeem has fought guys that hit hard before. So when you as who you are, you're fighting a guy and his main weapon is that he punches really hard. You're not uncomfortable with a guy who punches really hard.
No, not at all. I'm not going to get into. I'm not going to get. It's like you guys. I'm not going to get into a podcast and thinking I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to get into football and think so I'm not going to get hit. Or I think I'm not going to get into swimming. And not going to touch the water. So
absolutely more examples.
All things, what's going on. Yeah, I'm not gonna decide to be a bird and not fly,
Yes. I like it, Max. We are definitely
Max.
There's 20 fucking examples.
He
right
basically,
there. I love it.
You're saying that you know what you're in for.
Yes.
When you,
he's a samurai, man. I like it. I like that you were gonna sign the con. You already had your contract signed. You didn't even care who they put in front of you. And there's a lot of guys that are prima donnas, man. They haven't done that. Oh, it's not good for my career. It's horrible for the career when they turn that down. The fact that you just said that, I'm not even surprised you said that.
No, I'm not either.
I think you could put Satan on the other side of that cage.
You're not going to play baseball and not expect to get your uniform dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to eat cupcakes and not expect to get calories.
You're on the bench. Yeah.
Unless you're on the bench. But you know what? I respect you for taking this fight because, again, Aldo you guys just fought. And I respect Aldo for taking the fight on short notice. He learned from that to me. Again, maybe he just wasn't ready to fight Conor. But I respect the fact that he took this fight, too, against a guy who just beat him pretty soundly.
And the first fight was great. It was exciting, and it was violent. You know what I mean?
It was very violent. And, Max, you're always fun to watch. There's never a boring fight with you in it, and I really mean that. No. Also on this card, Henry Cejudo, Sergio Pettis. Tremendous fight.
No, the card's awesome.
That's a tremendous fight. Eddie Alvarez against Justin Gaethje, who we're going to be talking to shortly, is a great
fight. That fight is crazy as shit, too. That fight going to be wild.
Yeah, because they really are. Like, Eddie is such a slugger.
You tell fans now, all the fans, all the true fans, don't miss out, guys. Do not miss out. This is you guys want an ending of the year card. This is the ending of the year card. They're talking about ending of the year card. Santa Claus is in Detroit, so it's going to be an exciting card. We got Karate Holly them opening it up, and then Gaethje, and then you got a title fight headlining, and then you got 2 title contention fights underneath that. So it's crazy. It's
psyched.
Crazy. It's a stacked card.
Now, if you do win over Jose on Saturday, you're going to move ahead of Royce Gracie for the third longest streak in UFC history with 12. Of course, Anderson has 16, and Jones, Demetrius Johnson, and Anderson Silva all have, GSP have 13. Does that mean anything to you? I mean, on some level, you must recognize how amazing that is.
Yeah, history is great, and that's what I want to be. You want to be the GOAT, you got to put your names among the guys' names that you just named. So it's an amazing feeling. It's a great feeling, but I tell people all the time, fighting is not forever. Matt knows.
No,
you can't fight forever. These guys think so you can fight forever. I can sit back and smell roses when I'm all done and said and done of this. Too much people, they live in the past, and too much people trying to think of the future. I'm living in the present, one step at a time. I'm not trying to trip over myself or get into ahead of myself, and just take it one step at a time. There's times where you can celebrate, and then there's times where you just gotta buckle down and forget it. And I think that's what's been credited me my whole career, is that I'm able to, I know when to celebrate and I know when to get back to work. And a lot of these young guys, they're coming up, or even people in general, they get a little success and they're like, oh yeah, this is forever. No, this is not forever. You gotta take this ride and run with it as long as you can.
Let me tell you, one of the reasons, Max, for your success, I believe, is not just because you could kick a lot of ass and you're extremely talented, which you are. You got a great head on your shoulders, man. You're 25 years old. You're talking about the younger kids. You're 25. I mean, I got my first fight in the UFC at 26, and I was still a bit of an immature asshole. I'm still immature. I just don't think I'm an asshole anymore.
Here's how mature Matt is. He came in stoned and sat on the seat and fell off the other side of it.
Oh, Max, don't judge me, Max. I'm retired now.
I won't judge you. Don't judge you. That's funny. I wish I was there.
Max doesn't judge me.
I would put you on Snapchat or Instagram and be like, this guy. It is what it is.
Yes, Max. No, man, Max got a great head on his shoulders, man. Very mature for a 25-year-old, and that's the way a champion should handle himself.
And a very nice guy. We spent some time together in Vegas at 200, and just a very humble guy. And I think that's probably why you're so successful, too, is because you take every opponent as seriously as you're supposed to.
Oh, yeah. Guys, at the end of the day, people think that this is all lollygagging, all fun. Until you get your ass whooped in front of millions of people, you become a meme. And the internet is a harsh place, man. I tell you right now, there's a bunch of tough guys. There's a bunch of guys that's on there that's just waiting for you to slip up and make you memes and gifs, and it's horrible, man. You don't wanna go through that.
Yeah, that's why it's good, man. This game will humble you. If you're not humble, this game will. If you don't come into this game humble, it'll humble you. I learned that over my years in the cage. But let me tell you, Max, for one, I'm psyched. I'll be watching. I know Chris, the producer, can't even sit still.
Oh, 100%.
Right, Chris?
So excited about it. Good luck, Max.
This is going to be a great card and an amazing main event fight. And your first fight was great. I'm not disappointed about this one at all. I mean, I love Frankie, so I wanted him to be in it. But I think it was the right move to give it to Jose because he went out in a very, very tough fight. It was, and now that he's healthy, I think this is a very interesting matchup. So good luck, man. I mean, I like both of you guys so much. He's the #1 contender against the champion. You can't ask for a better fight than that.
I'm rooting for Max. I don't give a fuck.
I am too because I know Max better.
I don't know Jose.
Yeah, I met him once. He was very nice to me.
Sure, he's all right.
That's not enough. I've sat on a bus with Max.
You know why I'm rooting for Max? One, I really, really am a fan of his fighting. I like him. I'm not saying it's because he's right on the phone. Two, I saw that Jose Aldo movie, and I want to fight him now. I'm only kidding. I want my money back. No, I'm only kidding.
Was it bad?
No, is it bad? No, the Jose Aldo movie? No, it's fine. Come on. No, I'm sorry. Listen, Max, you're the best, man. I can't wait to see your fight.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Oh, I can't wait to fight. Thank you guys for having me on. You guys have a great day.
All right, enjoy the cupcake after.
Yes, sir.
Take care.